What is going on, Chargers family? We are back with another film session, and today we will be breaking down Zion Johnson. He only played 12 snaps in the first preseason game, but showed some really promising skills at his new center position. And usually when you do have competition out there, it can absolutely bring the best out of you. So let's take a closer look at what he did well and where he needs to improve as he transitions from guard to center. So on this play here, this play wasn't a big gain, just a short pickup. But watch Zion Johnson work here. Right off the snap, he fires out, climbs to the second level, and gets his hands on number 36. That's not an easy reach when it comes down to that center position, but Zion makes it look smooth here. And the run might have been stuffed, but this right here is what stands out. The footwork, the awareness, and the striking ability. That's the kind of movement that separates a guard trying to survive from a center built to lead. So we'll go ahead and spin it. So locking on this play here, you can just see him firing off the ball. The good thing about this player, he is absolutely aggressive. Coming out of college, he was one of the players that was known for his footwork and his ability to get to the second level. Now, this play didn't end up being a big run, but you could see the athleticism from this player. And seeing how the Chargers are stacked up this year, there will be a lot of power running when it comes down to guys like Amari and Hampton. He is one of my favorite players that was coming out of this draft this past year. And if you guys did not check out that film session, please do, because it is a lot of information in that video. And one thing I do like about him moving to the center position, he doesn't have to overthink too much. Just go out there and play ball and do your assignment. Because playing that guard position, you're battling it out so much with those defensive tackles. Sometimes he does be prone for mistakes. But athleticism is not a problem when it comes down to a guy like Zion Johnson. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does for the rest of this preseason. But solid play by Zion Johnson, getting down to that second level and pressing out that safety. Now check out this rep against number 90. Zion Johnson gets into his pass set and keeps his hands tight, right inside the frame, which is textbook placement. He anchors down, stays attached, and completely neutralizes the rusher. And that's what gives a player like Trey Lance, who actually had a solid game, is so good to be able to see that from him, but it gives him the extra second that he needed to read the field. And this might not show up on the stat sheet, but this is how you win reps in the trenches. Clean hands, strong base, and total control. So we'll go ahead and split it. So locking in on Johnson, you see he's snapping the ball quick. The good thing is, once he gets into position, he gets those hands inside. It is extremely important to be able to lock those hands inside the defender's pecs, finding ways to be able to gain that leverage. And this is why I love to be able to break down the trenches, just watching these players go out there and fighting it out. And usually when you can get those hands inside, you won't get those holding calls, and it's enough to be able to buy time for the quarterback to at least make something happen. Now, Trey Lance didn't get much on this play, but it's good to be able to pay attention to see what that offensive line is doing. Because we all know that Justin Herbert, if he's getting time like this, he can go out there and make big time plays with his playmakers. And as far as a player like Andre James, it will be big time competition against these two guys. He was a player who played tackle coming out of UCLA, converted to center with the Raiders, but he ended up losing his job to last year's rookie Jackson Powers Johnson. So I'm sure that he'll be ready to compete for this position as well. But with Zion Johnson's skill set, with his ability to be aggressive, he's very athletic, he has a good understanding of what these defenses are trying to do. It's not going to be easy for Andre James, but competition brings the best out of everybody. But as far as playing that center position, it's not always about being brute strong. You got to play with good technique, keep those hands inside, and finish these plays. But seeing Zion Johnson here, Chargers family, he did exactly that. Here's a play where we see a combo block from Zion Johnson. He steps in, makes good contact, and drives the defensive tackle across the screen, straight out of the play. And that is that raw power and control that we all like to see. While the quarterback rolls out to the opposite side, Zion is handling business on the backside, clearing the lane and keeping the chaos away from the action. This is exactly what you want from your starting center. Strong hands, low pad level, and finish. So let's run it. So locking on this play here, he snaps the ball. The left guard engages with number 90, but seeing Zion being that helping hand, attacking the defender's left shoulder, and washing him out of the play. And these are the plays here that we have to break down that usually don't get seen when you're watching film or you see all those other analysts breaking down plays. But when you have these offensive linemen being on the same page, it's going to bring the best out of everybody on the offense. And the better coaches and scouts pay attention to this. Now, it's not going to be perfect when it comes down to this player. He absolutely did a great job in these 12 reps, but he does need to work on those botch snaps. You cannot have that happen once you get down to the regular season because those kind of plays like that shifts momentum. So practicing his snapping routine is going to be extremely important going forward. And as you can see, there were a lot of people commenting saying that as well. But when you do make a switch like that from guard to center, it's not going to be perfect starting out. There will be mistakes that this player is going to make, but I think that he has what it takes to make more good plays out there rather than bad plays. By watching the film from this first game, Zion Johnson got the best of number 90 on these reps. No question about it. He fires off, engages with power, and flips his hips just enough to open up a lane. That's a grown man block that we talk about. He stays locked in on this rep, keeps those feet moving, and makes it easy for the running back to zip right through for a nice gain. It's physical, it's controlled, and it's exactly how you win in the trenches. So we go ahead and run it. So locking on this play here, just watching Zion Johnson, just being physical and getting his hands on number 90 and flipping those hips. The thing is, when you're playing that center position, it's all about having that will, that grit, and determination. Because once you get into that fourth quarter, if you're playing physical like this, these defensive linemen, they tend to let up. And that right there is what opens the whole playbook when it comes down to the offense. And coming out of college, he wasn't always the most strongest offensive lineman, but usually when you get to the league and you're eating that NFL peanut butter in the offseason, that right there is what can get you into position. And he's one of those guys that has solid grip strength and he has long arms to be able to sustain blocks. And this is one of those players that is tailor-made for this offense, who's going to be running a lot of power. So this is how this player could be able to make his money. So this was one of those plays here that he absolutely dominated and ended up being one of my favorite plays from him throughout this game. Here's a rep where Zion is matched up against number 76. As soon as the ball is snapped, he gets into his pass set, engages, and right away you can see how this player locks on. Hands inside, feet chopping, and he's just mirroring the defender the whole way. Number 76 tries to disengage, but Zion slides with him and doesn't give up any ground. Trey Lance gets the ball out quick to the running back in the flat, but none of that happens if Zion doesn't handle his assignment first. So let's run it. So locking on this play here, just studying Zion Johnson, you just see the physicality when it comes down to this player, using that brute strength and making it hard for that defensive tackle. So Trey Lance dishes out the ball, and the running back gets a few yards. And I know that with these defensive tackles, you're playing in a preseason, you will be seeing a lot of mop players who's not going to make the team. But one thing I do look for is aggressiveness. I look for getting those hands inside, moving those feet. That matters with that center position. So as this player goes along, he will be playing some top tier competition. So that is something that we all got to lock on. Can this player step up when it matters most? But by watching this entire game and in those 12 reps, he did his thing for sure. And the good thing is when you're playing that center position, he has a lot more space to be able to make decisions. You won't see him clashing it out with these defensive tackles so much. He can go out there and do his thing. But not only being able to produce on the field, he has to do his homework off the field as well. But he is one of those players who is highly motivated and ready to get this thing rolling. Now, this is a big time rep here. Zion starts off battling with the defensive tackle. They're locked up heavy, but watch what happens next. The linebacker loops around on a stunt, and Zion sees it coming. Without hesitation, he peels off his man and picks up the looper mid-rush. And that is not easy to do, Chargers family. It takes vision, quick processing, and a real feel for what the defense is trying to set up. Plays like this do not show up on a box score, but this is a high-level offensive line play here. So we'll go ahead and run it. So locking on this play here, just seeing Zion Johnson, clashing with number 90. The good thing is you want to make sure those hands are inside, striking them, but keeping his eyes on that looping linebacker. And passing 90 off to the tackle and quickly picking them up. And this is what you love to see when it comes down to your center, Chargers family. The thing is, when you're playing in the NFL, you're going to be going up against a lot of teams with wicked stunts week in and week out. So that center, the guards, as well as the tackles, they have to be on the same page. If you're overly aggressive, sometimes the little small crease can allow that linebacker to be able to close in and affect the play. So that right there is classic football when it comes down to that center position. Finding ways to be able to stop that defensive tackle as well as that linebacker from being able to stop the play. And that was one of the skills that I seen from him coming out of college as well. So big time play here by Zion, finding a way to neutralize both defenders in seconds. So on this final play here, Zion makes another big time play that we love to break down. As soon as the ball is snapped, he gets his hands inside again on the defensive tackle and drives him out of the frame. And I mean completely washes this player out. That opened things up, and the quarterback boots to the right with all the time in the world. Easy throw, wide open tight end in the corner of the end zone, touchdown. But it all starts with Zion doing the dirty work up front. So we go and rock with it. Slocking on this play here, quickly you can see that he's going at 76 and just completely washes this player out. He kind of driving him off the screen really quickly, so I couldn't really show y'all. But it just shows that this player was going out there and doing his thing. And as far as Trey Lance, it's great to see that this player went out there and had a good game. Sometimes change is good when it comes down to that quarterback position. You get around different players, different coaches, that can bring the best out of you. Now, I'm not trying to overhype that guy because he does have a lot of work to do. He's going to have to go out there and prove it. But this Hall of Fame game here was definitely a good start. But as far as a player like Zion Johnson, he really went out there and did his thing. This is a player that is really good at processing well. He has that ability to be able to read stunts. He can be powerful on certain plays. He anchors down well. On top of that, he is a great scheme fit in his offense. But like I said earlier, competition will be ramped up. Andre James does have a lot to prove, but if the Chargers is going to take that next step, they got to make sure they get this offensive line right. So it's going to be good to see how this all plays out. But make sure you guys tap in with me. We have some of the best film out there. We will be breaking down a lot of Chargers film. So you guys let me know throughout the regular season, the preseason, who do y'all want me to break down? And I will definitely have you guys back. So comment below and let me know what you guys think about Zion Johnson. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire updates and the best football film sessions on YouTube. All right, Chargers family. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.